Hi everyone, it's Liam here from Rating the Races. So I thought what we'd do is a quick video on who I'm going to be backing for the Paddy Power Gold Cup. I'm going to back them today and hope that they are both declared to run and also can then run big races for us. Now I thought I'd quickly talk about a horse that ran today. And hopefully you were on this horse, Storm Goddess, who won at Kempton in a Patemps Network qualifier. Now, I'm really keen on Storm Goddess to now go to Wincanton. This race here, this Patemps Network qualifier at Wincanton on the 26th of December. It'll be on the 26th of December again this year. Why? The slightly stiffer track will suit 2 mile 5, and I also think that if she can win that or go very, very close, she'll go up enough in the weights to get into the Patemps final itself. And it is quite a good qualifier. Last year's winner, Third Wind, ended up finishing 4th in the final. And if you didn't have Storm Goddess in your Nagme already, I recommend putting her in and hoping that she goes to Wincanton and then to Cheltenham. Anyway, let's have a look at the racing on Saturday, the Paddy Power. And yearly premium members and yearly pro members can actually request our ratings for the weekend. Normally at the 5-day stage, so for tomorrow it'll be for Saturday, normally on the Tuesday, but I've managed to get the Paddy Power sorted beforehand because I wanted to have a look at it after the entries were announced earlier today. And I've come up with 3 selections, but I'll talk through a lot of them and why I'm not selecting them. So the first one I want to really talk about is Our Dancer, and he is going to be one of my selections. And I think you can currently get him at about 9 to 1. Let me just double check on my other screen. You can get him at 9 to 1. Now, I know they really like him. They do really like the horse, the Twist and Davis, and the Twist and Davis do have a good record in this race. But why I think he's very interesting is I think he was underestimated for what he did last time. The step up and trip clearly suited, but I think he ran down a very good horse in Master Tommy Tucker. They were 34 lengths clear of Tidal Flow. Tidal Flow's rated 148 himself. And Literally Chi, who is rated 140, was a further 11 lengths behind. I think that form of that intermediate chase at Newton Abbot is very, very good. And Our Dancer was giving £6 away to Master Tommy Tucker, who I believe is a Grade 1 animal, but just can't jump great. But he jumped fine at Newton Abbot. And Our Dancer beat him. And I really believe that was a grade 1 performance. And yet, we could next see him in a handicap and only off a mark of 154. He's gone up £3 for it. He's in a King George, and to be honest, I don't think that's beyond him at all off the back of that performance at Newton Abbot. So if he runs here, I'd be very, very keen on him to go very close. And the Twist and Davis team, they've always liked him and they've always liked this race. So yeah, I like Our Dancer, and I'm pleased to see that at the moment he's our top-rated horse. I'll run through some of the crosses, the ones I've ruled out and why. Simply the bets. Now, I know he was very impressive last year, and we talked him up a lot. We said this race was very strong form. It worked out to be very strong. He won at the Cheltenham Festival. But we've given him performance figures, and we're taking into account that he's now gone up in the weights. He's going to have to improve again. And as good as the race was, and as good as he won it last year, I just wonder whether they might have something else in mind for him, and this could be let's see how it goes, a prep run. But he's kind of done his stuff. He won at the Cheltenham Festival, and I think this might be almost a prep run. Cool Cody. Now, Cool Cody's obviously seriously improved since moving to Evan Williams, and his two defeats by Soldier of Love and Southfield Stone were good efforts, but they were small runner fields. Was he flattered by his proximity to those two? And he had good, plenty of chances over fences, especially on his last attempt in a Betway Heroes handicap hurdle. That was over hurdle, sorry. I'm just not sure he's super well handicapped, and I don't know whether we've overestimated this run. Next one down is Fidux. I'm not sure on Fidux. I just think he's solid and will keep running well and winning races. But is he a Paddy Power Grade 3 winner? I've got my question marks. I think he can keep running 4th and 5th in these type of races and winning slightly lower grade races. But I don't think he can win a Paddy Power. Mr. Fisher. Now I know a lot of people will be on Mr. Fisher. I'm going to grab the form of his 4th in the Marsh Novices. He was beaten by Samcro, Mellon and Fohim. Good horses. Good horses for sure. How good are they? Samcro was good, then he went off the boil and then he won. Mellon has now been beaten 3 times out of 4 over fences, whilst Fohim was 12. Shouldn't Mr. Fisher have been beating those horses, the unreliable, inconsistent horses, if he was good enough to win a handicap off his current mark? I think he should have. Even saying he's 6 and he'll appreciate dropping back into handicap company, I'm just not so sure, to be honest. Now I know he beat Our Dancer. He beat him off levels. Let's have a look at what they run off. He will have to give him £1. I just feel that Our Dancer may have shown that he's already improved, and obviously has the fitness run behind him. Sky Pirate, we know Sky Pirate. He loves to come there travelling, travels all over the winner, and then decides it's not for him. I think you'll find there'll be 1 or 2 or 3 horses that are a little bit more reliable in the finish than Sky Pirate. Saint Sonnet is similar to Mr. Fisher. Saint Sonnet ran well for only a 2nd start, and he's only a 5-year-old for Paul Nicholls. Just wonder whether this might come a bit too soon. I know he's the favourite, and he could be a potential graded horse in the future, but he needs to prove it, and I couldn't be backing him at the price he is on what he's shown in the UK so far. Happy Diva won this race last year, but is now higher in the weights, and that applies to Brillant Dar as well, who's 2nd, but is higher in the weights. Cyril Delac really needs to bounce back. Oh, that was nice, wasn't it? Cyril Delac really needs to bounce back. Has now moved to David Pipe, who could certainly get him back to his best, but he would still be... he last won off 141. He's running off 150, so he's still £9 higher than when he won the Brown Advisory in 2019. I've also ruled out Domaine de Lille. I wasn't that impressed with his seasonal return, albeit over hurdles, but his 5th in the Swinley Handicap Chase at Ascot didn't really fill me with any confidence that he's this type of handicap winner. I think he wants bottom, completely soft going or heavy going before he can really show his form as well. 2 that I have liked, that I've put ones on here. I'm a big fan of Spirit of the Games, as I'm sure if you listen to my podcasts and my horses to follow and things like that, you'll know I'm a big fan of Spirit of the Games. And when he was sick, too simply the bets, nothing went right for him. He was behind, he hit a lot of fences, he ran into the back of horses, and things didn't go right. Now, he ran in this race last year, and he went off 8-1, and again, things didn't go right, and he got outpaced, and they pulled him up quite quickly. But he bounced back from that after running at Newbury, where he also disappointed. But he showed that he does run well at Cheltenham on the next 2 starts in the Caspian Caviar and the trophy handicap chases, like the 45 Sleeps to Cheltenham. When he was 2nd to Sapage, he was also 2nd to Warthog. That's the Spirit of the Games I hope turns up here. He can run well fresh. I know he didn't last year, but I would ignore that, and I think things didn't quite go to plan. It's worth 74 grand this race, so it's not one of those that I think they will skip. The one in January isn't worth as much, and they could skip that race. But I think they'll be going for it here, and I really like Spirit of the Games. and I'll probably keep backing him in all of these 2.5 mile handicaps at Cheltenham. The final one I want to talk about is a horse called ASO. Now, I was quite keen on Cepage or Belami de Picton if Venetia ran either of those, but she doesn't. She relies on ASO. Now, the last time he ran in a handicap was in January 2019 when he beat Happy Diva. He beat the 140 rated Happy Diva. She's now rated 153, and he carried top weight that day. He idled because he was much the best horse. He won that off a mark of 158 before then running in an Ascot Chase, a Ryanair, a Charlie Hall, a Peterborough Chase, a King George, and a Ryanair. Now, he ran a couple of good races in there, second in the Ryanair in 2019 and third in a Charlie Hall, but has since disappointed. I'm just going to close that down. But has since disappointed, including when finishing 7th in the Ryanair last season. But this is a drop in grade for sure. And if he returns to this sort of form, it's 157, 154, he's going to be there or thereabouts, without a doubt. And I think it's interesting that she relies on ASO over Belami de Picton and Cepage. So they are my three. I'm going to go for Al Dancer, who is currently available at 9 to 1. Spirit of the Game, so you can get at 12s. And ASO, who is available at 20 to 1. So they're going to be my three for the race, and hopefully they all turn up. And hopefully they can run 3 big races for us.